Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the call. Give me a second. I am setting us up elsewhere. We're live streaming on Facebook, it looks like. I got the YouTube channel rocking. Let me pause this up real quick so we don't have an echo. All right, so I can try to monitor some of this stuff going on here. But if you guys could, please, I got everyone muted when you guys come in. I think it should be auto muted. If not, if you could mute yourselves, that'd be awesome. But if you could, just drop in that chat box, say hello. Let me know where you guys are coming from. And if you could, just confirm that you can see me and that you can hear me okay. All right. And in the meantime, we'll give everyone a couple minutes to get in here. I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing and how this whole thing works. And hopefully we'll do some role-playing stuff, man. Sounds good? So again, please let me know that you could see, that you could hear. And we will get this whole thing rocking. All right, cool. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Hey, Cynthia. How are you guys doing? Glad to have you here. I know it's a Friday night, and this call, the way we did, is actually a little bit last minute. So I'm glad that you guys could make it. These are the dedicated ones. These are guys I like to work with. Not that I don't like, working with everyone, but Jamil, what is going on? What is going on? All right, let me again, I'm checking these other streams real quick. Looks like we got some folks viewing. What's going on, my YouTube family? It's my first time streaming on the YouTube and with the Zoom on the live thing, so bear with me, guys. How's everyone's week been? What's going on, Vince? So check this out. I really like to encourage, because we are a smaller group, an intimate group. I'll probably wait like 2 more minutes. But if you guys are not shy, I'd encourage you, turn your cameras on, man. You see those faces. See who we're dealing with. All right, let's see. Okay, looks like we are live on Facebook. Cool. So I like to see. And live on YouTube. All right, cool. Awesome. What's going on, man? Chilling. We get the Bronx in the house. Jamil, how's it going? Hey, Anthony. All right, cool. We got some guys up in here. Good, man. All right, so I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to get up in here. But again, thank you guys for joining me on a Friday night. I know it's not necessarily the easiest time to, kind of do these calls. But at the same time, I'm going to try my best to make it worth your while. So if you guys haven't seen like the 10 emails I sent, what we're going to be doing today is role playing. Role playing is one of the biggest things you can do to just get you more efficient and a lot better at this business. And I want to be able to give you guys some real feedback in real time. Most of you guys probably saw the sample I posted from one of our students last week with some of my commentary. That's what we're going to be doing today. I've seen some people chime in. I want everyone here, don't feel like, I don't know, bad or in any way self-conscious. This is only going to get you better. A story I like to tell my students is like, I remember being at this Grant Cardone conference, his training, and he was asking his top sales guys. He was like, man, how often do you guys role play? They were like, every day. It's like, okay, cool. He's like, how long would you think it takes you guys to get rusty? And I thought he was going to say a couple of days. And both of these guys, and these guys are making, I don't remember the figure, but they're making a lot of money. They're like his top salespeople. And for those that don't know, this guy runs like, his companies are worth like $1 billion. Both of them were like 3-4 hours. So one thing I'm encouraging my students, all students in my program are supposed to have an accountability partner. My one-on-one students, we do this together as well. And in the worst case, you wake up in the morning, it doesn't have to be a long thing, 5-10 minutes, right? We make the call. Okay, cool. I'll catch up with you later. And then they do like a longer recap at the end of the week. But worst case scenario, guys, if you don't have an accountability partner, man, get in front of a mirror, say this stuff out loud. One of the comments I saw just today on the sample video, everyone was like, hey man, you say too much. You know, people when they're talking, they're like stuff like that. And I agree with that. You obviously want to be a little bit smoother, but that smoothness only comes through repetition. And I agree that it's something that the student in that particular video could work on, but that's the type of thing you work on during the role play. You don't want to have that top of mind when you're actually on the call. So you want to be practicing. So obviously you get a little bit smoother. I always recommend that you have your script in front of you when you are, you know, when you're speaking to a potential seller or even a buyer. Obviously, you know, there are times where you won't be able to do that. Maybe you're just like passing a house on the road, and I always want to encourage having that sense of urgency. But again, everything comes through the reps. All right. So we're going to be here for about an hour, so I don't want to take too much time with the intro. As you guys go, however, if you have any general questions about wholesaling, about a deal, about an obstacle you encountered, it does not have to be related to role play. Just drop in the chat. I'll probably save those for the end. And then I'll do my best to answer as many of those as possible. And again, I want to keep it within the confines, like a decent amount of time, because again, it's your Friday night, and my boy's fighting at on a Bellator card tonight. So if you guys can watch that, his name is Jornell. Give him some love. All right. So before we get started, while I'm waiting for a couple more people, and we got other people joining the streams, does anyone have any general questions that they like to ask, or throw in the chat, anything like that I could answer for you? And if not, if you want to be my first volunteer / victim, let me know. And just so you guys know, I'm going to be playing the role of a motivated seller that is calling you back. Maybe I saw your ad somewhere, or I got a postcard. I am going to give you a little bit of shit. I don't want to make it super easy, because it's just not realistic. Sometimes that happens, right? If you get someone really motivated, but the idea is to help you get through the objections, to deal with the awkwardness, to answer the more problematic questions. So again, that's not something to be taken personally. And we are in a very small, intimate group. So be receptive to all of the feedback that you're going to get. And so I got my notepad here so I can take some notes. So if you guys want to, again, let me know while we're waiting for other people. If you have any general wholesaling questions, drop that in there. And then whoever wants to, go first, just drop in the chat. Mike, I'm ready. And then, we'll do this thing. Sound good?
Great. Thank you, man.
Sound good.
All right, cool, man. So I'm not seeing the questions yet, so I'm gonna give it a minute, and you guys let me know who's gonna be going first here. And to my folks on Facebook, YouTube, I dropped the Zoom link. So if you guys are watching, you won't be able to participate because the call, we're doing this through Zoom. But I left the link in the, what's it called? The description there. And so you can join. Let me type that in over here on YouTube as well. It's a long URL. I don't even know where it ends. Here we go. All right, cool. All right, Farad's always down. Farad's one of kind of the OGs in the program. He's really, really good. I personally wouldn't have him start because he is that good. So if Farad, if no one else wants to go, I'll definitely let you break the ice, man. But I'm gonna give anyone else like a chance. Jamil, Anthony, come on, I call out names here, bro. You guys,
let's go, man. I ain't never scared, man. Let's go.
All right, I'm gonna do it with you first, right? All right, man. So we'll give a little round of applause for Jamil. Anthony, I know your sound is on, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna I mean, I don't hear anything. I'm just gonna mute you in case, I don't know, if you have background noise or someone wants to drop by. All right, so Jamil, check it out, man. I am gonna, our phone is ringing. I'm gonna throw you into the deep end of the pool, and you just say hello. And again, I'm calling as if I'm responding to a piece of your mail, and then you will just go from there. So we're ringing. As soon as you say hello, we'll go.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. I'm looking for Jamil. Yeah, I'm looking for Jamil. I got a postcard in the mail saying that you guys are looking to buy my house.
Speaking.
Yeah, I'm calling about this postcard I got
Hang
in the
on,
mail.
I
You
don't know
guys
if you can hear
saying,
me.
yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
yeah, I apologize. All right, I'm ready.
Yes, I was calling about this postcard I got. Said you guys were looking to purchase my house. Wanted to get a little bit more information about that.
Yeah, well, we were calling in regards to some property that I'm very interested in. Um, and thank you for returning my call. Uh, well, I, it's just I just completely got a brain fart, man. um, all right, let me start over.
Go
I
for it, man.
apologize, man. Hello?
That's what this is for. Yep. Yeah. Hi. I just got a postcard saying you guys are interested in purchasing my property, and I was calling to get a little bit more information about that.
Yeah, we're purchasing homes in this area, and I'm very interested in the property that I that I'm looking at. I saw it on the property appraiser. I mean, uh, see, my big thing is that see, I'm not specifically dealing with uh, houses or properties per se, more or less vacant land. So
Okay.
you know, so I'm kind of lost as to the direction that I would go initially, from even from hello, so I apologize. I'm
Gotcha. No, don't apologize at all, man. That's what we're all here for. Believe me, anything that you guys will say on the phone that you think like sounds bad or you get stuck up on, like I've been in worse situations. I've been hella way more awkward. And again, I'll give you props like just for jumping on the call. So I have some like feedback I could give you just immediately off the greeting. But I say let's try it one more time. Even if you mess up, don't like stop to kind of give me your, where you're coming from. Let's talk about
yeah.
that afterwards. So let's just go back into it. Hey, I'm calling. I got your postcard in the mail about a plot of land that I own down in I don't know, Miami, wherever, it doesn't matter, right? So I'm calling you. Tell me about it. What I want to get some more information from you. You said you wanted to buy my land.
Yeah, we're building a few homes in this area, and we're very interested in the property. I mean, uh, what would it take? What would it take to purchase the property?
Well, I mean, you guys called me, and to be honest, I didn't even know who you are. So could you tell me, first of all, kind of who you are about your company and how you got my information? Why are you looking how did I end up on your list, more or less?
Yeah, we get our information directly from the property appraiser, and like I said, I'm very interested in building homes in this area. So I wanted to reach out and see if we can possibly come to an agreement.
Okay, and how much you guys looking to pay? That's kind of what I wanted to figure out. How much are you guys offering?
Well, I'm very interested in the property. I'm not here to waste your time. I mean, what would it take to purchase the lot?
Well, I'm not in a position where I necessarily have to sell. And that's kind of why I wanted to ask you guys how much you were offering. Because again, you guys sent me a postcard in the mail. I'm just responding to the, to the piece that you guys sent me.
Well, that has to do. I mean, what would it take?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I'd have to get a good offer from you guys. So I'd like to know how much you guys are willing to pay. And then from there, I'll probably take it back and, talk to my wife and see what we'd be willing to settle on. But we're probably going to shop it around a little bit.
That's very understandable. Now, were you guys planning on building on the property yourself, or I mean, what were you
No,
guys doing with the
we
lot?
actually inherited the property from my mother-in-law. So no plans for it yet. It's in a really, really good area. So I know it's going to sell for a lot, but we're not sure what we're doing for it yet. So we're just kind of shopping around and seeing, maybe I'll hold it, maybe I'll sell it. It all kind of depends on what you guys are willing to offer.
Have you had any other offers on it? I mean, I'm
Well,
very
that's the
interested in
thing.
the property, so I'm willing to
It's
go
not
above
on
and
the
beyond to make
market.
the deal happen.
That's the thing. It's not on the market because we're not actively looking to sell it. I'm only calling because I got your postcard in the mail. It sounds like you guys were the ones who were looking to buy it, and so that's kind of why I'm calling you back. You know, if you're not interested in buying it, just let me know. I'm not really sure why you would send me that postcard then.
Yeah, I'm very interested actually. That's why I wanted to touch bases with you to see if we can possibly come to an agreement on price. I'll pay cash, and I'm looking to close.
Oh, you guys pay cash? Okay.
Like I said, well, the problem. Yeah. Did you guys have a number in mind that
Gotcha.
did you have a number in mind that you would even consider?
You know, I don't. Again, like I said, you guys were asking to purchase this, so I just want to see how much you guys were going to offer.
I mean, if I can net you $12,000, I mean, is that something that you would even consider?
You know, I'd probably have to talk to my wife about it and see if we could get some higher offers. So maybe at 12,000, is that your best offer? Is that the best you guys can do?
I mean, if you talk to your wife and you guys come to a mutual agreement on run it past me. If there, I'll set them very interested.
Okay. All right. So I'll talk to her. I'll give you a call back. All right. Thanks for your time.
That sounds good.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Have a good day. All right.
All right. You too. Thank you. All right, guys. So give it up. I'll cut that a little short too. It seemed like it was breaking up a little bit, but again, the first call is always the toughest. I, give everyone a little bit of shit and, props to you for going first. So I have some feedback for you. Everyone on the call, if you guys have feedback, if you want to chime in right now, we're at a point where you can unmute yourselves. If you want to just talk about it, I don't think there's too many people where it should get too messy, but I would encourage you guys also to just drop in the chat box would be ideal. And then I can actually read it on everyone's behalf. So we're not kind of talking over each other. So here's what I have for you for starters. The first thing, you talked about being interested in buying land. Now, personally, in my business, I actually don't flip land. I just do single family and multifamily houses. But the script is going to be, for the most part, the same. It doesn't really matter what type of property you're buying. Also, a lot of people like to ask me about the situation. What if I'm calling a divorce list? What if I'm calling evictions? All that type of stuff. And it doesn't matter, right? Initially, the way we start off is going to be the same for everyone. That's going to make your job a lot easier too, because now you don't have all these different filters and criteria that you're thinking about in your head. So one thing that I kind of like that you did is like, you kind of kept pressuring me for what my price would be. The reason I didn't give it to you and I kept coming back to you is because we hadn't built up not just rapport, which is important, but the very basics. Right. So the very basics, when you're starting the call, I would not go straight into offer price or start talking about cash, because also not only is that rarely effective, but what happens is if we do that initially and I don't know you, I don't know who you are, I don't know your company, I can be very stubborn, and that's what most sellers will do. And then we get to this place where all we're talking about is price. We're not talking about anything else. We're not talking about my situation. We're not talking about why I'm motivated. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. So the very first thing when you initiate the call, it's going to be, oh, who am I speaking with? That's the first thing you want to get, right? The sweetest word in anybody's language is their name. And that already that's very minuscule. It's almost nothing. But now we're at least getting to a first name basis where we can start communicating with each other like human beings, right? And then the next thing is, remember that, and it's something I role play with my students a lot, because a lot of them, sometimes it's the nerves and sometimes it's because I'm a familiar face. So we know each other, we talk. So they kind of forget these things. But you got to remember, you may be sending out thousands of pieces of mail, or you may have ads out there, whatever. So when someone calls you, you're not going to know who you're talking to, right? And then they're also going to be like confused because they're not in the business. So they don't know. They're like, why'd you send me this thing? And they're typically going to ask, how did you get my information? And or what do you do? A common mistake I see is a lot of students who say, well, who are you? They give this whole pitch about their entire business, and we buy cash and we do this and all that. You do want to say that, but there's a time and place for it. So the first thing you want to do is, hey, hey, Mike, ask my name. Oh, this is Mike. Hey, Mike, how are you doing today? Good. Okay, great. So let's talk about this property. Could you confirm the address for me? Sometimes they'll roll right into it. Sometimes they won't. They say, well, you hit me up. Like what
Yeah.
gives? And then you have to have your explanation ready. And that's why the role play is so important, because all the things that come up, like these different objections, these different questions, like in the beginning, it seems like there's so many of them. But like after you're making hundreds of calls, man, they're probably like not 5, but they're like maybe like 10 things that just repeat every single time. And when you know it's coming, that's how you know how to respond, right? So when someone says, how did you get my information? Why are you calling me? All this stuff. Hey, I'm an investor. We purchase properties in this area, and we're reaching out to homeowners and I always just put the zip code. Some people are like, well, should I mention their foreclosure? We're reaching out to all the dudes who haven't paid their taxes in 2 years. It's like, no, fuck no, man. Don't say that shit. Cause then, there's a lot of ego involved. A lot of these people are in bad positions. Nobody wants to talk about their, them getting evicted or I'm sorry, them getting foreclosed on or stuff like that, right? So it's just, hey, we're reaching out to all the homeowners in the area. Boom. Okay, cool. And then we go into, and this is where I have a series of scripts. I'll tell you guys later where you can grab those. But that's when you want to go into a little bit of qualification. And again, I'm not touching on a price point. And that's doing 2 things. It's one, allowing me to subtly communicate that I know what the hell I'm talking about, right? My phone's going off. I get thrown. That I know what I'm talking about, that I'm a professional, right? Then the next thing is talking about their property. And we start off with things that are very easy to answer. Like I know that it's a 3-2 because I have the information in front of me typically when I take these calls. So I'll say, just to confirm, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Well, that sub communicates that one, I'm not just some scam artist off the street. I know what I'm talking about. I'm familiar with your property. And it puts them in a position where all they have to do is say yes or no. And they're going to answer that. And then the next question, yes or no, yes or no. And then you can get to that point where, hey, why are you interested in selling? I'm not interested in selling. You called me. Oh, well, okay. If you were going to sell, why might you be interested in selling? Sometimes they'll say, if they don't, the next question, how I try to like squeeze it out of them. Well, what's your timeline? Because if somebody's going to sell in 30 days, okay, they wants to sell in 30 days, they're motivated. They want to, if they're like, I don't know, whenever I get an offer, then it might not be a good fit for you, right? And you always want to get the seller motivation. And as you can see, we're probably going to be like 10 minutes deep in the conversation already. Haven't talked about price at all, right? So we really want to get the motivation first. And then after we get that, and some of these guys, you have to break it down from step by step. Okay, well, once you talk about some of the rehab, the repairs, why are you interested in selling? Why is that step by step? Some people you talk to, they're just going to want to run their mouth. Like some people, like this happens to me a lot, especially with divorce situations. Man, if somebody's getting a divorce, they would love nothing more than to tell you what a bitch their wife is. And that's all they want to talk about, right? So, and sorry, but like, that's just the way people talk, right? So if somebody wants to talk, then just let them keep talking. And then once you kind of establish that, then it's like, okay, well, and that's when you can go into your pitch a little bit. I won't spend too much time on it. Well, just so you know, we purchase houses. We're, professional investors or we're rehabbers. We buy and fix properties. We pay all cash. We can close quickly. We can close immediately upon receipt of clear title. Is that something you're interested in? You kind of go into those details. And then at that point, that's when you guys could start talking about the price. And that's where we'll swing around to what you were saying before. And that's when you really want to get the price out of them. And one of my number one rules is you have to get the price first. And remember, when you're talking to people, man, like you're not trying to make someone into a motivated seller. What you're trying to do is you're trying to find motivated sellers that already exist. So a lot of these people, if they really, really don't give you a price or something like that, it could be a situation where they're just not motivated and you have to be okay with that. Now, that being said, most of the time, these people are not going to give you a price first. Everyone, like pretty much in this country since they were born has been taught, don't give the price first. So you kind of have to ease it out of them. And you do that by asking basically what you were asking. The only thing is you asked it the same way every time. And you want to ask it in a couple different types of ways. So I do have an ebook. Again, I'll tell you guys where to get this stuff. It's called Overcoming Objections. And it gives you more or less like how to kind of keep looping back around. Something I'll tell you without going too deep into that just now, so we could get a couple more people to call in, is that what you say is important, but it's not nearly as important as your tonality, right? And so in, whatever communication studies, right, they tell us that like 93% of communication is body language, like 7% is your words. Well, when you're on the phone, they can't see you, but you can still convey um, a lot of these ideas through your tonality. And so one of the voices you want to use is just a very reasonable guy, very nonchalant, and never disagreeable. So if they're like, well, how much are you looking to get for the property? You can go into again, there are a couple different spiels you can go into, but you can say something like, oh, okay, I understand that, like completely. If they, like saying they don't know how much. Oh yeah, I get that, you're agreeable. But let's just say, ballpark figure, like, what do you think you'd be looking to get? It's kind of like, not a big deal, right? And that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, and then a lot of times they'll give it to you just by saying that, well, ballpark figure. Next thing, well, do you know what other houses have sold for? Do you know what the tax assessed value is by chance? And then you can even talk about, well, again, tell me a little bit about those repairs, because I'd love to get you an offer. And then you can kind of play into the fact that use information that you gathered earlier, like say the property is really jacked up. Well, given that it needs this repair, this repair, this repair, or if they need to sell fast, you can talk about the timeline and different things like that to come back and get that price, right? And we'll talk. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, because kind of the sequence I go through is a little bit longer. But if you guys want to check that out in a recorded way, so you can go back to it, I believe we talked about that in the video that I posted on the public one I posted with my sample student on YouTube. So you guys could go back and check that out. But again, man, appreciate you going first. I hope you got some good notes from there. If anyone has anything to add to that, add it to the chat. And whoever wants to go next, please do let me know while I read and kind of catch up here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My quick question, like in this case, like they call you from a postcard. How can you know which address, which price give to them? Like you have no idea which properties in this case.
Exactly. So that's what you want to do, because you don't know, right? So you just have to ask them. And the first thing is like, hey, you want to get the name first. So, hey, Anthony, thanks for giving me a call today. All right, so you're interested in selling your property. Could you just confirm the address for me? Mm-hmm. And then they're going to give you the address, or sometimes they're going to say, man, you called me. You don't know the address. And then that's when you have to have that explanation ready. Oh, well, we're investors in the area. We buy and, rehab homes, or we buy and rent homes for our portfolio, whatever it is. And then you say, we're actually reaching out to all homeowners in the 33333 area code to see if homeowners are interested in selling. And then typically they'll give you the address. And then at that point, ideally, you're in front of your computer, and even more ideal, you're in front of your CRM. If you don't know, customer relations management system. So for me, that's REIFax. I use that here in Florida, which gives you all the information you could need, like the sales history, the beds, the baths, all those different things. But let's say worst case scenario, maybe you're on your phone, man. Just type the address in real quick and go to Zillow, so you can at least be looking at it. I mean, again, the Zestimate, it's not a good tool for actually running comps, but at least you get an idea.
Yeah.
And then from there, what you want to do is you are not giving them a price. Like if the Zestimate's like, $100,000, well, it's going to be in a range. You're not dealing with a $20,000 property. You won't know the exact value, but you're not dealing with a $500 property, $500,000 property. And then you go through that same sequencing I'll tell you about. And again, I want to recommend you guys check out that ebook that I have for you. And I'll tell you how I can give that to you guys. But from there, it'll tell you how to get them to spit out the price first. And then you can say, okay, great. Well, based on what you told me, I'll take a look at this with my finance department, or with my team, or with my partner, and we'll be able to get back to you with a written offer in just a few minutes. Is this the best phone number? Is this your best email? And then you go from there. You do not want to give a price, and you can give different justifications as to why you can't. A common one is, I'm just here to collect the data, and then I pass it on to my manager, or my acquisitions manager, or my finance team. And based on what you told me about the condition of the property, they analyze the numbers and they'll give you an offer. The other thing I like to do is I like to always send my offers electronically, because if we're kind of haggling back and forth, and you're saying, well, I want 100. And I'm saying, I'll give you 70. We're in this kind of verbal altercation where it's like usually very combative. It's argumentative. And sometimes the offer that I might give you, there's some sticker shock, and they also feel like they're in this place of negotiation. Whereas if you send it via email, even if they have that initial, I guess you call it like reverse sticker shock, where they're like, man, this is low. You're not there for them to like get angry and vent, and they take a minute to kind of process it. And then you can call and follow up and talk. And then also one of the rules I have with my students is you always control the paperwork. There are other reasons why that's true. There's psychological reasons, but there's also stuff you want in your contracts that reference things like liens and permits and violations. And obviously your inspection period, which sometimes if you don't control that paperwork, other people can like slip shit in under the radar. And if you don't notice it, you could kind of screw yourself. So you always want to control the paperwork. But also when something's on paper, they're less likely to try to, I guess, negotiate it. That's why a DocuSign, like electronic signing, is so powerful as well. Like I said, you could just send it in a PDF on email, but DocuSign is really cool because you can't change it. So like they have an offer sitting in front of them. You tell them, you weave into the conversation. You don't necessarily want to say it straight up, but you weave in there like, oh, we're looking to buy like 2 more properties this month. So that invokes a little bit of FOMO, like that fear of missing out, which means they know that, hey man, like this dude's going to buy some property. He's either going to buy my house or someone else's. If I'm really motivated, I need to like, jump on this quickly. And with a service like DocuSign, you don't get to like write in your changes. You just click and sign. And so they're less likely to try to haggle with you over some of your prices and terms. It kind of makes sense. Any follow-up questions to that?
Makes sense.
Basically the conversation needs to start kind of friendly, right? It has to be not like professional, yes, but not like number I want to buy. I mean, of course, make the point, but try to be also, kind of smooth, right?
I agree with that 100%. And listen, one thing I'd recommend is like, you have to kind of find your voice. I am sure that there are some people who are very successful in this business and they're probably very robotic, and for some reason they make it work. I'm not like that at all. Most of my students who are very successful are not like that. We're dealing with people typically in motivated situations that are not like good places to be. And the more human you can be and the more relatable. And also just because of the way the world is with shortened attention spans because of social media and people getting robo-spammed and robo-called and called by telemarketers and debt collectors, when they hear that type of hello, sir voice, this has been my experience, like dudes are just ready to hang up the phone. And so a lot of times without being like, super casual, like, I may not use like, be cursing around and the way I normally talk, but I talk to them like, I talk to like my homies, like my friends, and that has worked for me, but it's also congruent with who I am and my personality. So I think that's a way that works for me. But yes, I would agree with that, 100%.
That's the way I am too. So I cannot be any different, I mean, I don't want to be too much friendly because also you don't want to be like trying to jump into their privacy. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the people can even feel that, but just be yourself, natural, so I am a human person. I like to entertain relation with the people because, that's the way I am. And that's it, so I think that when you are normal and natural and you don't try to do nothing like,
and the way I always approach these things, and, sometimes I have to like say it verbatim. Sometimes I don't, but I'm never needy. I'm not like, I need this deal because I know I got a call list of another 1,000 people I could call. And when you're needy, that comes out on the phone. So I'm always taking the thing like, listen, man, if I could help you out, if it's a win-win, if you're happy with the deal and I'm happy with the deal, we're going to do it. And if not, it's cool, man. We don't have to do it. If you need if I can assist you in any way, if you need a moving company, if you need a listing agent, if you want to go a different direction, I'm happy to help you out. But if you want to sell for cash, if you want to sell it, immediately, we close next week and we both, I make my little profit, you get out of there as fast as you can, you get cash, blah, 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 then we'll do the deal. Right. But I never come off as like, come on, man, like, give me this property, No.
We are all human. So at the end, they need to understand that, the person on the other side of the phone is just like another human being with the same kind of problem, maybe different, but, I think that the people feels at each other, right? There is
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And you were saying earlier, like, you don't want to get too personal with people. And so I don't personally push very deep, but I do try to get their motivation. And some people, like I said, they will want to talk to you, and get very personal. And if that's within their comfort level, I'm fine doing that, right? If they want to talk and tell me the details of, their divorce, or how these tenants are just such a pain in the ass or whatever, a big part of our job is being good listeners. So I will go personally, but if they are willing to do it, like I'll push it a little bit. But also, with that being said, I talked about this on a previous call where I referenced the way that I've built my scripts. Like I said, I'm not like smart enough or expert enough to just come up with this stuff off the top of my head. And I've built it based on obviously the teachings of my personal mentor, but also various trainings that I've done and different seminars I've attended, stuff like that. And so one that I reference often is Jordan Belfort's straight line system. You guys probably know him, Wolf of Wall Street. And he talks about that straight line where he talks about in the context of sales. But remember, even though we're looking to buy property as buyers, we are still selling our services. And he says it's a straight line, right? So you start here, you want to end everything here. And he says there are boundaries here, right, in between. And sometimes you're going to go off topic and, either above or below that straight line, but you always want to bring it back. So you have to still control the conversation, meaning that if some guy, like you guys have a commonality and talks about fishing, you can't just go off, even though it's rapport building, you can't just go off and talk about fishing for another hour. Cause like you got shit to do. You got other calls to make, right? So you got to kind of, even though that's personal and it is rapport building, you still got to bring it back to, all right, man, like we got to talk about this house.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. And I think that is very important to have a script.
Agreed. Yeah.
With, and also to have the most common objection a little bit clear, right? Just the way that you were entertaining before. I'm sorry, I came late, so forgive me. I don't remember the name of the guy that you were talking with. Hi, I'm sorry. So just exactly the objection. I think is very important to have something kind of ready, like cool, not like being nervous or something, but having a reply for this objection in a way that you kind of control the conversation, right? But knowing the most common objection is very helpful, I think, because I'm sure.
Absolutely. Because you come across the same ones every time. So, and Pat, I sent you an email last night with the link to the wholesaling scripts. Did you see that, or were you able to get in there?
I think I don't. I think I get the invitation for today, which I thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to see you all. No, I don't think I saw that. No, maybe. Okay,
I'll double check. But I sent it kind of late. Like I know I told you I was getting home at like 8 or 9, and by the time I put Jay to bed and all that stuff, I probably sent it like 11 o'clock. But I sent you the link. I'll double check. But one thing with that ebook, guys, usually I have my web pages set up where you could download it. Everyone on this call, I just want to hook you up. So eventually I'll make a page where you guys could download it. There's something that is included with my curriculum. But if you guys send me an email at mike@wholesalemike.com and just say, Mike, I was on a call. Can you like send me that Overcoming Objections ebook? I'll just send it to you. And the way it's written is it gives you the framework for how to deal with any objection, right? So you repeat this, you validate this, right? And then how to deal with it. But the 13 most common objections that I've come across in my career, things like you make me an offer first, I give you the exact verbiage of how to respond. Like literally, you can just read it. Now, obviously, I don't want you sounding robotic, so you put your personality into it, but you could just read those right back. And I would tell you to like, man, study that shit like I don't know, like your life depended on it, so you could just spit it like that, and I promise you it will make a huge difference, just knowing at least those 13. And the one I would start with and practice with your accountability partner and practice in the mirror is that you make me an offer first. Okay, and there's like I said, there's a couple different loops how we revisit that, but it's all in there for you. So again, I don't have a URL that you could go to right now, maybe in the future, but if you're on this call, man, shoot me an email, I'll send it to you guys. Not tonight, because I'm watching the fight. But I'll get it there by like tomorrow or something.
One more time. Right? What's the email?
My email is mike@wholesalingwithmike.com. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna check in on some of the comments. We got Shelly from Houston. What's going on? Hello. Um, ask and sell everything. Want to make this happen today. Yeah, and also, for some of you guys who were on last week's call, or some of you guys who have seen it, I don't want to be too repetitive, but go back and watch that, because there's some things that I talk about in terms of, like, basically, if you go through that loop sequence and they still don't give you an offer, I basically tell you how to be like, listen, let's like cut the bullshit. What's it gonna take to get the deal done, without saying it like in such a rude way? But watch that really quickly, okay? So it's getting dark here. I'm just gonna turn on my light really quickly, and then whoever wants to go next, Cynthia's volunteered, but she is an OG. She's done this a few times. So if anybody else wants to go, I will. I'll take you guys first, and then if not, Cynthia, you and I will go. Okay? So give me like 5 seconds, and we'll do this. All right, and let me check my phone real quick. Sweet, my battery died.
Hey, Mike.
Yo.
This battery is about to die too, so I'm gonna log in from another phone. All right.
All right, cool, man.
All right.
See you in a sec.
All right. Thanks.
We got some new faces on here. Robert, how's it going? We got someone dialing in. I'm not sure who that is because it just showed your phone number, but welcome. Evans, last time you told me you were gonna go, so I don't know if I gotta see you next time, or if you're still here with me. Abel, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here. And then also, guys, you guys don't have to wait till the end. If you have general wholesaling questions, like I said, you guys got me for another 20 plus minutes. So take advantage, man. I'm happy to I love talking about this stuff. So let me know. And if not, we'll give another 60 seconds, and then Cynthia, it'll be you and I.
Okay, I'm ready to go, actually.
All right, cool, man. So we'll jump right into it. So Abel, welcome. Again, the way we'll start this off, I am going to be calling you as if I have received one of your postcards in the mail. I am going to give you a little bit of shit as if I'm a tough seller, because that's where the best practice comes in. Let me mute everyone else. And then we are ringing. As soon as you say hello, we will go.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. I'm calling because I got this postcard in the mail about someone wanting to purchase my property. Calling to get a little bit more information.
Yeah, we actually are. I work with a group of investors, and we actually send a lot of these postcards. Would you mind giving us the address
The address of the house?
of that?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
yeah, but before I give that to you, let me just, I don't know who you are. I don't know if this could be a scam or something like that. Who are you guys, and like how did you get my information?
We work with long-term capital investments, and we actually send out postcards to areas in a property that we would like to invest in. And your property came up, and so can you tell us a little more about your property?
Well, yeah, what do you want to know?
How many bedrooms and baths?
It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Okay. And is there any repairs that need to be done to the property?
Does it need repairs? No, I mean, we live here, so everything's fine.
So how long have you lived at the property?
We've been here for about 10 years, but here's the thing. I'm not sure why you're asking how long I lived there. I'm just calling to kind of figure out how much you guys are offering. So could you tell me how much you guys would be willing to pay us?
Actually, my job is not to give you an offer, but I actually collect the information and give it to my higher ups, my purchase manager, and he actually will come back to you with an offer. But do you know what other houses in your area are selling for?
No, not really. I got the postcard. I just wanted to see kind of what you guys were offering, and then from there, I'd probably go and do a little bit of research to kind of figure out what houses are selling for, and if that offer would be any good.
That's great. That's great. What, the tax assessed value of your property?
Off the top of my head, I'm not really sure. It's probably somewhere in the $100,000 range.
And if I were to if you were to give me a ballpark range for this property, what would you say you would give me as an offer?
How much? You mean how much I would want to see for it?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like I said, I haven't really shopped it around. Do you guys have an offer for me or?
We
Or
would
not?
actually, how we make our offers is we see the repairs, does it need any repairs, and the that is in. Would you, if we were to handle all the closing costs and close on the date of your choice, would you be able to give us a fair and reasonable offer?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't give you guys an offer. You guys are supposed to be giving me an offer, right?
We actually we determine the offer based on the information that we get back from you.
Okay, so what other information do you need to get me an offer price?
I know I messed up.
No,
Messed
I think you're doing well, man.
I'm doing well?
obviously have stuff. You have some stuff where I got some notes for you, but I mean,
Okay.
we're still here.
Okay. So So tell me a little bit more about your property. Do you have any, are you currently living it or renting it out?
No, we live here. I've been living here for about 10 years.
And how's the roof?
Well, the roof is good. We replaced that about 2005. Just because it was looking, a little tattered, but there were no leaks or anything like that. So, roof's about, 15 years old or so, but it's in good condition.
Have you done any work to the kitchen? Any updates to the kitchen, living room, basement?
No, the kitchen is, original kitchen. It's in good condition. Everything works. And no, there's no basement here, man.
Okay, and electrical and plumbing?
All the electrical works and the plumbing is fine.
Okay. So if we were to give you a reasonable offer for this property, what would you say would be a reasonable price?
I'm really not sure. I would say, man, it's got to be above 100,000. But what I would say is maybe you talk to your boss and then you guys call me back and let me know what you're gonna offer me.
Okay.
All right. So sound good? You guys gonna call
Okay.
me back?
I feel like I could do more.
Yeah. I
Like,
think you can do a little bit
could
more,
do-
but I
could
mean,
do
we made
more.
it pretty much to the end. So I got some stuff for you, man. You guys let me know how it goes. And I'm sorry, what you guys are thinking, right? Again, everyone's muted, so you can't hear the claps, but shout out to you, man. I do have some obviously some tips for you. And like I said, that's what I'm here for. So nothing here is personal. Obviously, I try to make this a little bit hard for you guys. And for you guys that are on here, man, I love doing this stuff, if you can't tell. So usually I do this with my students. I would love to do another one of these for the public. Maybe I'll start doing them a little bit more regularly because it's helpful, right? And sometimes it's hard, but you have to do the hard thing. And I always tell people, if you can't do this shit in front of me, you're not going to do it in front of a seller. It's highly unlikely. And I want to shout out to Farad, who's one of my students in my program. He said, man, stay in character. It's all love here. Like in my career, in terms of not as a wholesaler, but doing the coaching and the YouTube videos, hopefully, at some point, maybe I'll get like a bigger, like some of these other guys like Max and I'm sure the other guys, but as of now, the community that I have is a lot smaller and a lot more intimate. And there's a lot of value here too, because like Farad said, it's all love here, right? So the biggest thing I have for you, there's actually two big things, but the biggest thing I have for you is not something I usually talk about. And this is actually not so much what you said, but it's how you said it. I found the delivery to be, and again, this is not like a horrific thing. That's not to say if you talk to someone super motivated, you couldn't still pull it off, but it feels a little bit robotic. and a little bit, I'd like to just see a little bit, not only more personable, but more energy. And what happens is this gets a lot harder. Like your first call of the day, your first 10 calls of the day, you might be full of energy. And this is something I have to remind myself of, because, you know, when you get to that 100th call at the end of the day, and you got cursed out once, you got hung up on 5 times, you're like, man, this shit ain't working today. You just want to hang up the phone. It's very easy to let that energy dip, but you got to like hype yourself up and shit like that. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, even before I came on the call, just, you know, personally between you guys, not that I wasn't excited to be here, man, but I just had a kind of a long day. I was out with Jay and I was feeling a little bit sluggish, man. I had to come on, throw some music on, get a little hyped up. And I was like, all right, I'm going to see my people. And then that's kind of how I hype myself up. So, you know, when you get on the call, try to have a lot of energy, you know, smile when you're talking, like, you know, kind of overdo it, because like, even the way you guys can see me now, I mean, this is kind of how I talk naturally, but the person on the other side of the phone, they can't see you. So everything has to be conveyed through your voice. All right. So the first thing you want to do, and something I don't even understand all my notes, but I have here written name. So I don't think you got my name. When I answered the call and I said, hey, I want to get more information, you went right into, oh yeah, well, we are investors, or you said we work with investors or something like that. And again, if someone's super motivated, it's not necessarily a deal killer. But remember, you know, it seems like I would say even slow it down to make sure you get there. Seem like you wanted to. And again, that's some of the nerves of being in front of everybody. But you kind of want to be like, oh, hey, thanks for giving us a call. And who am I speaking with? All right, some of the more professional, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? I don't say it like that. I find it a little bit forced. But say, oh yeah, who am I speaking with? Abel. All right, cool. Hey, great to talk to you. Well, yeah, thanks for giving us a call. Can you tell me the property you're calling about? And you got to get the address. Now, initially, I think you asked something about the property, but I purposefully did not give you the address. That's when I went into, well, I don't know you, so tell me, you know, about yourself. But I wanted you to kind of make a note that I asked for the address. I didn't get it. So you can't just keep going. You got to get it. So you know what we're talking about, right? And then the next thing, you know, you went into a lot of the property, and that's my second biggest piece for you. The two biggest pieces, not in order, first and second. The energy is this one's probably more important, but you talk to me more about the property more than my situation. All right. So when you're asking about the roof and the you know, the plumbing, the electrical, that's not bad. Sometimes that can get people you know, to talk to you, to open up, to stay on the phone and things like that. And also it obviously gives you crucial information to make an offer, and also convey that to your end buyers when the time comes. But I would like you here to talk to me about my situation a little bit more. Now, sometimes you can say to someone, well, why are you interested in selling? They'll give it to you. If they say, well, maybe I'm not, I don't know. Well, why might you be interested in selling? Maybe they'll tell you. If they don't, the next go-to is, how soon are you looking to sell? Because again, and I mentioned that last time, but again, repetition is not a bad thing, right? It's going to tell you if someone wants to sell, man, I got to get out of here in 2 weeks. That's going to be very different from, I don't know, maybe before the end of the year. But then maybe, you know, like, you know, you're not really dealing with that first, the right prospect, right? So, you know, all the stuff, the roof, this, that, not bad, but it's like secondary. Talk to me, get to know me, get to know why I'm selling, get to know how long I want to sell for, right? You ask some good questions, like, do I know what stuff's selling for? Also, the verbiage, you would say, would you be willing to make me an offer? This is a minor thing, just more or less semantics. But it's more like, how much would you be willing to accept? Because when you say make an offer, it's like you're actually the one making the offer. You did a good job at making, you know, kind of justifying why you were not able to make the offer. I tried to play as if I didn't kind of understand what you were saying. So I would try to clarify that a little bit more. And this is the part where I was telling you guys, again, in that Overcoming Objections ebook I'm going to give you guys, it's going to tell you kind of what to say. But the thing you want to remember is it's not just what you say. A lot of times it is how you say it. And there are times where, and again, I'm going to tell you how I do it, but nothing is 100% of the time. Like when I tell you things I've done, like this is what works for me the majority of the time, but it doesn't always work, right? So if I'm pushing and trying to get an offer or something like that, you know, I'm okay with like calling out their objection and say, you know, hey man, come on, are you scared to give me, you know, your price? I might not say scared, but my point is like I'll be very kind of facetious with it and just being like a little jokey with them. And again, you have to feel out who you're talking to, right? Like some people communicate differently, right? But if I can, my thought process sometimes, not all the time, but I feel like if I can make somebody smile on the other side of the phone, they're more likely to talk to me. And then I'll explain it to them a little bit more. So you were saying like, well, what would you take? And I'm like, what are you gonna give me? Well, you know, do you know what it's selling for? Not really. Well, what would you take? And then you kind of said it the same way. Well, then that might take a little bit more explanation on your part. Well, like I told, and oh, also another thing I wanted to mention is you want to be agreeable. So when they're asking like, hey, I want you to give me an offer. Say, hey man, I want to get you an offer too. Trust me, there's nothing I would love more to get you an offer. Just need a little bit more information from you. Sound good? All right, cool. So just to confirm, the roof is this. And the reason I'm asking this is because, you know, this is how we're going to get you the best offer possible. And then I'm saying things like that because I'm making a justification. I need this information. I need you to keep talking to me. It's only going to take a minute. But I'm doing this kind of for your benefit. But the sub communication is if and only if you answer my questions and tell me, you know, the shit I'm asking is how I'm going to get you the best offer. And the thing that they're going to remember is get you the best offer, right? Not the best offer ever, but the best offer I can. And then typically that'll work. You know, you did a good job of saying, you know, asking for the ballpark figure, but again, you kind of asked it in that same somewhat monotone or same kind of, you know, energy or tonality. Whereas like, I want to play up that reasonable guy, that nonchalant thing that we were talking about earlier. So it's kind of like, okay, you know, I totally understand that, but let me just ask you. And also sometimes you can add what I would call qualifiers onto this as justification. So, hey, listen, Abel, I want to make sure we can get you the best offer that we can get you. Now, as you know, we are investors. So basically what we do is we go into these houses, we fix them up. So there's a lot of, repair costs on our part and we resell them or we hold them for our rental portfolio. So we don't pay top dollar, but we can get you, based on what you're telling me, I think we can get you a really good cash offer that works for me, that works for you, and we can get you closed as soon as, you know, next week or whatever their timeline is, right? But let me just ask you, that being said, you know, and again, I'm not holding you to this. This is by no means hard because again, I'm just collecting the data. I still have to pass it up to my acquisitions manager. But just to make sure we're not wasting your time. And again, you don't want to waste your time either, but you're saying it, making it about them. Just so we don't want to waste your time, just want to make sure we're in kind of a ballpark to make sure that you would be happy with this. You know, what do you think you would accept here? And like when you kind of say it like that, you've justified it, you've put it in their best interest, you've kind of hit that friendly, not like we're best friends, but like, you know, we're human beings, we're talking. You've kind of done this thing where, you know, a lot of people have their defenses up, right? They think you're trying to like get over on them or something like that. And sometimes I don't do it initially, but if I'm getting resistance, it's okay to call it out and say, listen, just so you know, I'm going to be very transparent with you here, right? We don't pay top dollar. The guys who pay top dollar, they have to go in, they have to rehab the, you know, make improvements to the property. You guys got to paint it, you got to fix it, you got to move everything up, you got to list it with an agent, you got to pay realtor fees, you got to wait 6 months. So that's how you get top dollar. Now we can't do all that for you, but what I can do is get you a cash offer. We can get it to you as soon as next week. We can take the property as is, whatever stuff is in there, you want to leave it, any improvements, we do all of that. But I just want to make sure we're in the same ballpark. And then that's when your tonality really has to change. You can slow it down a little bit. And you want to take that cool cat, nonchalant, Chris Voss. This is a book I'm always referencing. You guys should write this down. It's called Never Split the Difference. I mentioned it on my last call. This guy was the FBI's top hostage negotiator for God knows how many years. And what he calls the late night DJ voice is one of the voices I employ often. And the other voice is the reasonable guy voice that he talks about and say, so again, not holding this to you, not firm by any means. He say with a smile, like I said, I have to pass this on to my, you know, finance department or my acquisition manager, but you know, you've given me some really good information. They should be able to get you that offer literally within like the next 5 minutes. But that being said, you know, just a ballpark figure, again, I'm being a reasonable guy. You know, what do you think would work for you here? Right. And then another one I use, and I have my VAs use is like, well, I'd love to pass this on to you, but I can't submit your information into the system until I have a number, right? And the analogy I made on the last call is like, if you guys have ever filled in an order form, which I'm sure you have, because it's 2021, man. But you know, you put in your card information. If you skip a line and you press submit, like the page, you get that red box. So that's what we're talking about here. We're saying, you know, I can't submit your information. So hey, just give me a number so I can send that over. And then when you're saying other things on the call, like when we talked about earlier, like talking about we're looking to buy 2 more properties and we sending out all this mail, it lets them know like, hey, I'm buying some shit anyway. So you kind of got to give me something. It kind of changes the perception of like who has the power. Like who needs the other one the most? And so that's what we're doing. So a lot of that for you, Abel, and I would recommend, that you, again, just practice this and practice that tone. Again, it's best to do it with an accountability partner. Anyone in here, the types of people that show up on a Friday night are dope accountability partners. You guys should take advantage. Like if you guys even want to drop each other's names, use me as like a catalyst to interact with each other, right? These are people that are on the call are the people who are serious about this business. So like drop your information, drop a phone number, drop an email. Hey man, you know, I'm Steven from Florida. I'm looking to connect to other wholesalers. I'm looking for an accountability partner, whatever. Here's my phone number. Here's my Facebook. Here's my Instagram. Drop it right here. After this call ends, the chat's going to disappear. So you guys, I have my Facebook group, Wholesaling with Mike. Let's go to Facebook, look up Wholesaling Mike, join the group, come on in. You know, I have that group there for many reasons, right? And I'm very transparent about it. One of it, it's altruistic. I love talking about this shit. I want to build a community and have you guys introduce each other. I don't need to be involved in all the deals. Also, I end up doing a lot of joint venture deals with a lot of my students, a lot of people I meet online. So I have a selfish component there too. But I'm always very transparent about that. So you guys get to Facebook, join Wholesaling with Mike. It's a free group. I don't have, you know, nobody's abused it yet. Like I said, I have a smaller following. So for right now, I don't really have like rules. You know, if people start spamming like crazy, I'll change that. But as of now, you guys can come in, you can ask questions. I check that stuff. I answer that stuff. If I need to just, you know, press the live button and answer, I'll give you guys an answer. I'm here as a resource. All right. So on that note, let's do some questions. It's 8 o'clock, so I actually do have to run. Cynthia, I know you wanted to go. We can do, well, Cynthia is one of my one-on-one students, so we can do our role play offline. Oh, confirm for me that you got that email I sent you with the land trust. I sent that to you earlier today. Pat, double check your email for the scripts that I sent you last night. I'll double check my end as well. Probably came in about late night, like 11 o'clock-ish. Yeah, anybody watching this on the replay, if you guys have questions about anything I said, if you guys would like to do this again, one of the biggest things you could do in this business is communicate, right? So communicate with me, communicate with everybody. Mom, dad, the lady at Starbucks, ask people for things. Do you know anyone who has a house to sell? You know, anything like that. So what channel is MMA fight on? So it's Bellator 265. It's on Stars. No, it's not Stars. Sorry, Showtime. So yeah, we're gonna be watching that on Showtime. Look out for Jernell. That's my dog. He's currently undefeated, so we're rooting for him, and I definitely don't want to miss that. So like I said, I do have to run, guys, but just because we're ending the call does not mean that our training is ending. You know, watch the replay. This is going to be on YouTube and wherever else I was streaming, Facebook, in our Facebook group. Leave questions there. If anyone watching the replay, leave that stuff there. Also, just as a note, when you guys are looking to meet with other people, I would encourage you, like, number one, like you dropped your phone number. That's amazing. You're probably 10 steps ahead of the average person. You're doing better than, 80% of people who start his business. But I would encourage you to say a little bit more. Where are you from? What's your experience? What are you looking for? What do you have to offer? What value can you give? Hey man, I'm new to the business. I'm in Palm Beach, Florida, but I've been building up my buyers list. I got 20 good buyers. 2 of them are looking for houses in XYZ area. They have a budget of 150,000. Would love to join venture. Here's my email. Those types of interactions, like I said, this dropping a number is not bad, but if you want to take it to the next level, it's a really, really good way to network. All right. So on that note, guys, thank you so much for joining me. For those of you on the call, remember, I'll send you that ebook, not tonight, but I will get through everyone and I'll be happy to send that to you. And if you guys have questions, usually the more that I get from you guys, the more I'm inspired to either make new videos or say, okay, well, if I have one person interested, it's like, all right, man, I'll just DM them, but 10 people say, hey, Mike, can we do another role play? I'll be like, all right, absolutely, man. And then, next Friday, next Thursday, whatever time works, I'll make it happen. and we'll jump in. Not every training I do. I've done like 6-hour trainings. Not all of them have to be like that. We'll jump on here for an hour. Everyone will go. And then, you know, if people get excited about this, we get more people, we'll do it some more. All right. So again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Have a
Mike.
beautiful, happy Friday, and have a wonderful, safe weekend. And I'll talk to everyone. Well, some of you guys I'll talk to this weekend, but the rest of you guys, I'll see you next week. All right. So join the group, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys soon. Email me for the
Thank
book.
you, Mike.
All right.
Thanks,
Good night,
Mike.
guys.
Thank you.
All right. Take care,
Bye-bye.
guys. And thank you
Thank you.
again. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice weekend.
Bye-bye. Have a nice
Thanks.
weekend. Thank you all.